Good evening. I'd like to welcome you all to this Bangladeshi food cook-along brought to you by the Royal College of General Practitioners. This is one of a series of events as we celebrate South Asian Heritage Month 2021, and the events are combined with stories from our members designed to celebrate, commemorate and educate on South Asian communities, our heritage and our culture. We do have a programme of events which we will post in the chat, and we have an upcoming event coming up which is around Bollywood dance. My name is Dr Aaliya Goyal and I'm a GP in the West Midlands and I'm one of your hosts for this evening. So I'd like to welcome Fahima Jalani. Fahima is a founder of Mosa Mosa, which is a Bangladeshi food and culture platform which caters for the community. Playing with the words moja moja, which means yummy yummy, in Sylheti Bangla, Fahima created Mosa Mosa when she realised Bangladeshi cuisine was rarely given the accolades it deserves. And we decided to celebrate Bangladesh this evening to highlight that this year is the 50th anniversary of Bangladeshi independence. So I'd like to hand over to Fahima to get us started. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Aaliya. Thank you everyone for having me here today. I'm so excited to be teaching you how to make recipes that are authentically Bangladeshi. They're my mum's recipes as well, so you can share the recipes out, but not to too many people. That's okay. So yeah, I'm really excited to be making tenga because that is one thing that Bangladeshis love to cook. This sort of recipe is a little bit modified, just so it's more easily accessible to a larger amount of people with regards to getting the ingredients in from the supermarkets and things like that. So yeah, I'm really excited. Who's ready to cook some Bangladeshi food? Yes, okay, I can see lots of hands waving, good. We're just going to start off. I'm going to show you the ingredients that we're going to use just to sort of double check that you guys have them as well. So I will be moving my camera every now and then, just different positions, so don't mind me. Sorry, go on.
Can I just ask a really quick question? Yeah,
sure.
We've just been asked, so someone's just asked if the dishes can be made tonight and reheated tomorrow.
Yes, they can be reheated tomorrow, so just make sure that when you do reheat it, it's like hot, piping hot, to make sure that all the bacteria is gone. So even if you keep it in your pan, if you keep it in like a cool sort of environment, you could put it in your fridge and that way it would last even longer. But just make sure every time you reheat it, it's like heated up properly, basically, yeah.
Thank you.
Okie dokie, no problem. So I'm going to show you my ingredients now. So this is the basa fillet that we're going to be making the tenga with. You can also use like cod, haddock. To be honest, quite a lot of fish that you can use in this curry. You just got to make sure that you don't mix it around too much because that's when the fish will break. But I will show you how to do that anyway. And with that, we've got 3 tomatoes and 3.5 garlic cloves. With this lemon, because I had a wedding recently in the house, they've just been sliced up, but it's about 1/4 of a lemon that we're going to use. So that's for the tenga. It's a really simple dish, like you don't need that many ingredients, which is really nice, and it's healthy too. For the courgette and potato bhaji, I've got an onion here. I'm not actually going to use the whole onion, probably about half of this. So it's about 1/4 or just over 1/4 of onion. I'm going to be using a courgette. I did say in the ingredients list for half a courgette, but I'm just going to be using the whole one. You can choose if you want to use half a courgette or a whole courgette. I've got a medium-ish sized potato. That's why I've added another small potato. So altogether it should be a medium potato. I've got 2 garlic cloves. I've got a 1-inch piece of ginger. Got some fresh coriander here that we'll be adding to both curries, like chopped up. And this is for my chutney or satni, as we like to say in Bengali. Got 2 plums here. Thought we'd use something that's, you know, in season. Got 3 garlic cloves, which we're going to roast on the fire, and a green chili. And then for the mango lassi, just turn this over. We've got some Greek style yogurt, a cup of cubed mango, fresh mango, or you can use frozen mango. Got some honey. I've got my milk. I'm using dairy-free milk. I'm just trying not to have too much dairy at the moment. And I've got my NutriBullet ready to blend those up. Okay, so is everybody ready for the first step? Give us a thumbs up, guys. Yes, awesome. So our first step is going to be the plum chutney. Now, if everybody's comfortable using open flame, I will show you how to do that. If not, just pop these into the grill and keep an eye on them, just so until they're soft. So your 3 garlic cloves, you can leave the skin on. So whoever wants to cook it on the flame, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you, but if you want to do it in the oven, just pop them onto your tray and put them under the grill. I'd say just keep an eye on it. 5 minutes or so should be enough. Okay, so all you do, so of course this is only available to do, well, I can only do this on a gas hob because it's an open flame. So I'm just going to put it onto, you know, the plate on top. So I'm just going to pop the 3 of them on the plate. Don't turn it on yet. Okay, so just pop the 3 on there, like so. Okay, so everyone got their little garlic pieces on the hob. Is that okay with everyone? Should we turn on the flame? Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to turn it on. Don't be scared if the skin catches on fire. It's not gonna, like, you know, explode or anything. It's just gonna burn the skin off basically and then stop sort of being on fire. So I'm just putting it onto a medium heat, and this should roast the garlics nicely, so we can leave them there for a little bit. We will turn them over, but you just turn the gas off first, turn them over, turn the gas back on. So it's all pretty safe, yeah? Don't have to worry. In Bangladesh, you know, they're always cooking on an open flame with the charcoal and the wood and the fire and everything. So I think the charcoal really adds a nice flavour. So every time we make a chutney, we're always adding in the charcoal sort of, you know, whether it's garlic or tomato. But today, of course, we're making plum chutney. So while those are sort of getting nice and roasted, we're just going to cut our plums. So if I just put it back over here.
I must admit, I've never seen garlic being roasted like that before. I do roast garlic when I make a roast chicken in the oven. Yeah. I'm used to it that way. But I hope that people are staying safe in their kitchens.
Yeah. Because this way is like, it's a bit more rustic, but it gets done a lot quicker as well. So yeah, so just going to get
less bad for your lungs than being in a small space with wood, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, even us eating the burnt bits is not great as well, but it's just a bit of the smoky flavour that we love. Okay, so these are the plums. I'm just going to cut them in half, and then we're going to take the seeds out the middle. So just slice down the middle and then just sort of roll it around like so. Give it a little twist, and there's the seed. So we're going to take the seed out. There's one seed out, and then just the same with the other one. Just slice it around and take the seed out.
Can I just ask a question about the garlic?
Yeah.
If the skin is quite black, does
Yeah.
that means is it done?
Yeah. So once it's gone, like, it's got to be soft as well. So if you put sort of push it in with a fork, press it with a fork, and if it's soft, then that means it's done. So I'm just going to have a check on my garlic. So I'm going to turn the hob off, and then I'm going to turn them over. Okie dokie, and then just turn it on again. They should be done very soon. Okay, so back to my plums. Just gonna cut them into like little segments. So they're like this. I'm just gonna cut them into like little wedges, basically. Little small ones. Like so. And just pop them back into the bowl that I had before. Cut this into little wedges again. So this would be really nice even just to eat on its own as well. So again, you can just leave this in the fridge overnight if you like and have some tomorrow. Stop that up. Okay. So I'll just show you. Now I can smell the garlic aroma now, so I think the garlic's pretty much done as well. So this is what my plum is looking like.
Thank you. I've got a question in the chat which says,
sure.
can I substitute the plum with canned tomatoes?
Sorry, excuse me. I wouldn't say canned tomatoes just because it's a bit soft and you want there to be a little bit more texture. And the chutneys will always taste better with fresh tomatoes. I'd say you can use canned tomatoes in like curries because you're going to actually cook the tomatoes, and that quite tart, tangy flavour that you get from tin tomatoes, you have to cook it off. You have to like cook it so that flavour kind of goes. So in a chutney, because we're not cooking anything, it's mostly raw, I'd say fresh tomatoes are probably better, yeah. And you'd just roast them how you would with the garlic.
Thank you.
So this is the plums. I'm going to add my garlic in now because I think my garlic's done. So turn my gas off and I'm going to show you a close-up of what they look like. Let me just get some tissue. And then so as you can see, this is what my garlic looks like. So we're going to peel it. So we're not going to get all of that nasty sort of burnt stuff, but only a little bit of it. So that's what the garlic looks like. I'm just going to peel it. So okay. So just going to peel that off. I tend to do it on a kitchen towel because then I find it's less messy because you can just pop the kitchen towel into the bin straight away. And it doesn't sort of stick onto your chopping board. I mean, it will a little bit, but as long as we've got a little bit coming off, that's all right. So as you can see, it is going to be very soft. So my 3 garlic pieces, I'm going to put it into the bowl, into the corner. And this is where I'm just going to like mash it down with a fork. So the garlic gets very sort of incorporated. But first, I'm going to mash it up itself. So I'm just mashing up the garlic. Is everybody okay? Is everyone on this part with me, yeah?
Yeah, I guess you could do that in a mortar and pestle as well if you'd find it easier if your bowl's not strong.
What was that? Sorry, yeah, exactly. Can do that as well. I've got one there, to be fair. But yeah, as long as it's just a bit mashed up. Usually I would do this with my hands. So I'm just going to do it with my hands. So mash up garlic. And then you just mix it with the rest of the plum. Okay, give that a mix. I'm just going to get rid of the extra stuff here. And then we're going to add in some chili. Okay, so let me just get rid of this first.
So Dominic's using apple, not plums.
Okay, that sounds like a nice alternative. I do love apple with like chili powder and salt. That's one of my favorite things, like snacks to make. So has everyone got a chili that they want to add into the chutney? Yeah, so you're just going to slice your chili very finely, and then we're going to add it to the chutney. So you don't have to add the whole chili if you don't want to.
I think a few people are omitting the chili.
Okay, that's absolutely fine.
So I guess, yeah, sorry. So one of my questions is, I guess when people make a chutney, they think of it as more of a
like a mix, like a
more like a jam type, shall we say?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas it's much chunkier.
Yeah, this is like, it's got a lot more texture. It's not as like, you know, mashed or mixed in a blender kind of situation. And I think that's just how us Bengalis like to do that sometimes. Like, we just like, you know, a little bit, have simple ingredients with some like nice flavors added to it, and then that's it really. Yeah, I'm just going to add the coriander in now as well. So we're just going to add in a few leaves, and then just chop them up roughly and add that in. And we're also going to add in some lemon juice if you have any. Also, instead of this green chili, you could also add in some chili powder if you wanted to, just some like red chili powder. I think because my dad likes his chutneys quite spicy, he tends to add in the chili powder and the green chilies as well. So yeah, so once you've added in your chili, so far in here I've got my roasted garlic mashed up, mixed together. I've mixed that in with the plums, and then I've put in my chili followed by my coriander, and then I'm going to add in some salt, give that a mix, drizzle over a little bit of lemon juice, and then that's it really for the chutney. So I'm just going to chop up coriander, just like a little handful really, not a big handful. And you can just see how much coriander you want to add based on how much fruit you have in there. So that's the coriander. And then we're going to add in some salt. I'd say about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, about that much. I mean, yeah, salt, sorry. I thought I said sugar. Just add that in.
So Susan's asking if you can use rhubarb.
Yeah, you could use rhubarb. That would be a really nice one, yeah. You can even add rhubarb. So you know the tenga that I'm making, the fish tenga?
Yeah.
You could even add rhubarb into that, and that would be really nice, because that would, again, would be tart and tangy.
Yeah, so I just noticed also while you were showing us that, I noticed Amanda showing us her bowl of what she's come up with. I only caught it briefly, so it'd be lovely to see that.
Yeah.
But what
I'd like to see that.
What I was thinking of is there's quite, I mean, apart from the combination of colour, there's quite a combination of kind of sweet, sour, chili all together, isn't it? And is that something that's quite common with Bangladeshi food?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say like Bangladeshi food is very, it can have a lot of like sour flavour, tart flavour. We have a lot of like dried fruits that we put into our curries, like dried plums, for example, dried lemons and limes. So yeah, it's a really nice combination of like spicy, tangy, a little bit of sweet as well. The spiciness, you know, on Bangladeshi sort of street food stalls, they have this fruit and they dip it in a mixture of red chili powder and salt. So we do really like a combination of like flavors.
So there was lemon juice in there, wasn't there? Yeah. There was lemon juice. Yep. I think
Sorry, yeah, lemon juice. Yeah, so I'm just adding lemon juice in now.
Okay. Sorry. So my background chefs were asking.
That's fine.
Oh, Ginia,
Oh,
look
that
at
looks
that.
very nice. Is that with plums as well?
That's right. Yeah, couldn't stop
Ooh.
helping myself, and it tastes amazing.
Does it? I'm glad. That looks really good. I love the color of it.
Oh, yeah, the thing that struck me actually was the color.
Yeah.
Okay, because we started with this is like one of the simplest part of the menu, but we've still got the rest of the menu to show. That's really nice. Have you tried it?
This is my one, guys. If I just show you a bit quicker, a bit closer up. So we've got a nice bit of coriander, we've got the sweetness of the plums, we've got the roasted garlic and some salt. So we're going to be using this later. You can, of course, snack on it as well while you're cooking.
No, it's really nice, the smell of the coriander. So this is mine.
Oh, okay, very nice.
So the smell of the coriander is quite nice. But
Yeah, it really adds like freshness to it. So, if you wanted to blend this up and turn it into like a proper chutney jam, you could easily do that. Just blend it up, all of it together. But sometimes it's nice just to not have to wash up so much, basically. So that's our chutney done, guys. Is everybody at the same stage? Has everyone finished their chutney as well?
Yeah, I think we got thumbs up here. So if we're happy to move on.
Okay, amazing. So this can go to the side or in the fridge if you like. We are going to go on to the mango lassi next, just because when we've cooked the main dishes, you probably want to eat it straight away and you don't want to have to make a mango lassi. So we're going to make the mango lassi now, and we're going to pop that in the fridge, ready for you guys to eat later with your meal. How does that sound? Is that right?
Yeah, sounds good. So
Okey-dokey.
you mentioned before that you were making the mango lassi in a NutriBullet.
Yes.
So I guess any blender will do.
Yeah, any blender will do, basically. If you had sort of mango puree, you could even get away with not having a blender, to be honest. But because we've got chopped mango, we'll be using the blender. So if I pop that onto here.
So a lot of supermarkets sell frozen fruit that people use for smoothies. So we're using frozen mango that was just in the supermarket frozen section. So
yeah, sorry about that noise. It's my weird arm thing. Okay, so here's my cup. Oopsie daisy. So this is a very simple mango lassi recipe. It's going to be done very quickly. You can, of course.
If you're using puree, do you use the same amount?
Probably, I'd say instead of a full cup, you use half a cup. I would say, yeah. But it also depends how mango-y you like it. If you wanted to have more of a mango punch, then you could add more puree in. If you want to.
I guess you could start with half, and then add more to taste.
Yeah. Exactly. I used for the last mango lassi I made, instead of Greek yogurt, I used mango flavored yogurt as well, which was really nice because then it was really mango-y and it was really hot that day, believe it or not. So yeah, it was just perfect combination. So got my mango. I'm gonna pop it into here. So 1 cup of mango. Okay. And then we're going to add in the yogurt. So I've got my mango in there, I've got my yogurt. Now you can add in your sweetener, so that's either honey or agave or date molasses, and you can pop it in at this point. But for me, I like to add it in at the end, because I like having some sips that are less sweet and some sips that are more sweet. That's just the way I like it. But it's up to you guys. If you want to pop it in now, go ahead and squeeze it in. But if you want to do it sort of at the end on top of the actual drink, then you can wait and do it with me. So for the milk, sort of estimate, but if we just add in, let's say, where's my cup? measurement gun so I can show you a bit better. So let's do half a cup for now. I've also got 2 cardamom pods here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them in the pestle and mortar and just sort of smash on them so the seeds come out from the middle, and then sprinkle that on top.
So when you sprinkle it on top, you're sprinkling the seeds and you're not sprinkling the husks. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. Okie dokie. So where's the lid gone? Here it is. Okay. So I'm just going to screw this on top, and then I'm going to blend that up. So is everyone ready to blend up their mango? Yeah.
Yeah. We're having a bit of trouble here with the cardamom pops, but please carry on.
Okie dokie. We'll be doing the cardamom pods after anyway. Oh, another bit in there. Okay, so pop it on. I'm just going to blend it up. Yes, that is actually a good way of doing it, biting them. Yeah. I mean, I bite in them when my mum cooks curry and puts them in, and then it's not a nice experience then, but okay. So I would say for me, this is the right amount of thickness. So if you just want to open it up a little bit, just make sure that it's the right consistency. And of course, if you feel like it's too thin, just add some more. Yogurt in. If you think it's too thick, just add a little bit more milk in just to loosen it up. So I'm just going to grab my glass. Did have a.
Sorry, can you repeat that? If it's a bit.
Yeah. So if it's a bit thick, just add in a little bit of milk just to loosen it up.
Yeah.
If you feel like it's too thick,
Thin.
no, sorry. If you feel like it's too thin, then just add in a little bit more yogurt.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Okay, so is everyone ready to pop it into their glass and drizzle over some of the yogurt, not the yogurt, the honey, and also pop on the cardamom pod seeds. So I'm just going to do the cardamom pod things now, actually. So I just got them in there. I'm just going to mash that up. Yep, so we're just going to get rid of the husks and of the seeds. So this is what the seeds look like inside, guys. Yep. Like you can literally smell it straight away. It's amazing. Okay. So here's my glass. I'm just going to pour it into my glass like so. Okay. Then I'm going to get my honey. I'm going to drizzle the honey over.
So sometimes plain lassi is basically the same drink without the mango in. And sometimes people have like a salted lassi as well, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, there's loads of different flavors, and there's like Faluda as well, which like has like a bit of jelly in there. To be fair, I've never really had lassi that much out and about. I would really like to like have it on the street food, on the streets of India and stuff. I feel like that would be really nice. Okay, so this is what the lassi looks like. I'm just going to pop 2 straws into there. So we might as well all give it a little try now. Nice. I think the nice thing with with mango lassies is not too sweet as well. Cheers, everyone. Lovely. Okay, nice. So I'm going to pop this into the fridge now. So now we can get on to making the rice and the 2 different dishes, savoury dishes. So I have in here a cup of rice. So this is just normal basmati rice, okay? Just 1 cup. What we like to do is do equal parts of rice and water. So 1 cup of rice is 1 cup of water. But what I like to do is sort of measure the water line. So you put your finger in and the bottom of your finger should touch the rice line, and the inch sort of line that's on my finger should be where the water goes up to. I know it sounds very complicated, but for me, 1 fingertip unit of water. There we go. Said it a lot better way than I did. But yeah, I always find that is a foolproof way of making sure that you've got enough rice to water.
Yeah, so just want to just take you back to the lassi. We've just got a few comments about different types of lassi. So there's salt lassi. Dominic saying he had tamarind pulp lassi. So tamarind's actually Amanda's saying the type of yogurt makes it sweeter, so you could use kefir, so it's more sour as well as salt.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So I'm more of a savoury person, I must admit, so I prefer like the salt stuff. So yeah, so I think rice is a very kind of, there's probably 101 ways to make rice. Is there a particular type of rice that you prefer?
Basmati rice is the one that we always use for like curries and stuff, definitely, yeah. My mum does like using sticky rice, but that's more for like desserts. So she'll cook sticky rice and she'll have it with, you know, desiccated coconut or mango and have a bit of cream drizzled over. So that's like a really nice dessert to try. But yeah, when it comes to curries, savoury curries, we always use basmati rice. Kids are loving the lassi. Okay, that's good. I'm glad. So happy. Yeah, so rice is in here, guys. I'm gonna wash my rice in the sink. Always have to wash our rice before we cook it. So I'm just gonna like sort of put water in, mix it around, drain the water out, do that a few times until the water is less cloudy. When it comes to Bangladeshi cooking, we always cook rice. Like rice is always the thing. Like, you know, like for example, with sort of Pakistanis, they might eat more roti, or Indians, you know, that I think they have a mixture of like rice and like chapatis and roti and things like that. But with Bengalis, it's just rice till we die, basically. So yeah, love that. I literally can eat rice on its own, just with salt, and I'm happy.
So someone's asking, does it matter if I only have a salmon fillet?
Nope, that should be fine. Salmon fillet will be good, yeah.
So we never talked about what you got into cooking Bengali food. Like what inspired you to start cooking?
I would say that definitely my mum, because she's always taught me how to cook. My dad had a few restaurants in the past. He's retired now, so I think I've always been exposed to like, you know, like restaurant Bangladeshi style cooking, home cooking. We've always, you know, watched cooking classes, cooking shows at home. And yeah, and I just feel like I really like cooking and bringing people together through food. Like that's one thing that I love. And it all just kind of happened, to be honest. Like I didn't think like when I was younger, like I would, you know, make a career out of cooking, but that's definitely something that I'm, you know, wanting to do now. So yeah.
That's great. Thanks. Dominic's made a comment that Filipinos have a lovely phrase, no rice, no power. So it shows the importance of rice in culture.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, rice. I can't have a day without rice. Has to be part of my diet. Just giving that a mix, and then I'm just going to drain this water out and then add some more fresh water in. So as you can see, it's gone quite cloudy from the starch. I find like when I'm washing rice, it's quite therapeutic. Okie dokie, give that a wash. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is fill up the water. So again, it's the fingertip rice where, you know, the first line, it's like an inch more or less, isn't it? So the water has to come up an inch from the level of rice. Or if you just want to be a lot more simple, just put in a cup of water. Okay. That's fair.
Oh, yeah.
So
Maybe we could try washing rice as a new mindfulness technique.
yeah, I
Can be
know.
soothing.
Yeah, that would actually be a good idea. Once it bites me, if that catches on.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the water on the heat, and we're going to put it like medium sort of power, medium to full power. We're just going to keep an eye on it. So when the water's evaporated, and you'll see the rice, but the rice has not gone like completely like dry or hard, you give the rice a stir, and then you put the gas all the way down till it's like, you know, like 1 or 2, like, you know, with very low sort of heat, and we'll pop the lid on and let it cook for another 10 minutes or so. We'll just keep an eye on it. So yeah, it's very simple. Just pan on the heat, lid off, wait for the water to evaporate. Once the water's evaporated, then you put the gas all the way down, pop the lid on, and leave it to cook. Okay?
Thank you. So we've had a few other comments. So some different country. I think that was supposed to say countries, not continents. So different countries do have different staple sources of carbs. So I think you touched upon that with Pakistani and Indian food having more kind of roti or chapatis or even dosas as well, as opposed to rice. And there's also a comment that most DESI doctors I know have an instant pot at home, saves a lot of time, and is a great rice cooker too.
Yeah, rice cookers are good. Like, you can leave that and do your own thing and get back to it, and the rice is just... To be fair, we did used to have a rice cooker in our house, but since we moved here, we didn't use it anymore, and I guess we just haven't got back to it. So yeah, rice cookers, there's nothing wrong with rice cookers, you know. So I'm gonna put my rice on over here. I'm just gonna put it on.
I must admit, I make rice the way you've described. So I use basmati rice, and then I measure. It doesn't matter what I use to measure. So, for example, if I use this glass, for example, to measure out the rice, then I will put it into a pan, wash it as you've described. Then I'll put double whatever I use to measure the rice in. And I will cook it exactly as you've described. So till the rice looks like it's cooked, but there's like bubbles of water coming up on the surface, and then lid on, right down to 1, and then forget about it for 10 minutes. So
exactly. And then it puffs up to the right size. Then lovely jubbly. Okay, so we're gonna start making our bazi now, guys. So we're gonna get our vegetables. Okay, I've got my onion here. Like I said before, I'm not going to use the whole of this because it's quite a big onion, and on top of that, no. So it's a big onion already, even though it's like not the full one. So I'm just going to quarter this and just use as much as you can see, this size. Actually, before that, let's just chop our garlic and ginger. So I've got 2 peeled cloves here, and I've got this amount of ginger, about a 1-inch piece of ginger. We're just going to finely chop those together, because that's what's going to go into the pan first. This will nicely flavour the oil that we have. So
some interesting comments about washing your rice, removing the B vitamins, 20% of the B vitamins, but I guess that's within the starch on the outside.
Oh, okay. So washing the rice gets rid of some vitamins, basically. Is that what we're saying, guys?
Yeah, that's right. But I guess removing the husk also removes some of the goodness as well, because the difference between white and brown rice, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I suppose if you had wild rice, it's even better, isn't it? It's not as sort of processed and stuff. So just finely chopping my garlic. Now with the garlic, I'm going to save literally like this amount, which we can just add right at the end. My mum likes to do that, so more of the garlic flavour stays. So just like a pinch, we're just going to keep on the side. That we'll add at the end. And then we'll just chop the rest of it up. It's like the base of any good dish has always got at least garlic, ginger or onion in there. But I'm probably biased, but I feel like it's going to be tasty when you've got those ingredients in.
I think that they're the holy trinity of Asian cooking, aren't they?
Yeah, literally.
Garlic, ginger and onion for sure.
Yeah. I suppose like even in like let's say like Puerto Rican, like, you know, South American cooking, they'll have like garlic and chili. And then like East Asian, they'll definitely have garlic and ginger. And then like African, they'll have again garlic, onion, you know. So it's definitely staple ingredients that you need in your kitchen, I would say. Okay, so I've chopped up my garlic and ginger. I'm going to chop up my onion now. So chop off the top. So I'm going to cut it in half that way, and then I'm going to slice it in half. Well, slice it even that way. Okay. So now that these are chopped up, I'm just gonna heat up my pan. So here's my pan. And I'm gonna add some oil into there, but not just yet. I'm just gonna wait for it to heat up a bit. I think in the meantime, in fact, let me just chop up all my vegetables first so I can move the camera and just show you what it's like on the pan. So I'm gonna chop up my potato now. So the potato, I'm going to chop in half, then we're going to chop in half again. I'm going to do slices. So the pieces are like this, basically. Like a half semicircle segments. Just make sure that all the pieces are similar sizes so they all get cooked at the same time. We don't have any that are more cooked than others, basically. I like to leave the skin on with my potatoes because then you get a bit more fibre. I'm just going to chop off the top and bottom of my courgette. Throw that away. And then just chop it in half, like down lengthways. And then I'm going to chop it in half again, lengthways. And then I'm going to do some semicircles again, like the potato. Say like this size.
Let's look really similar in size to the potatoes pieces.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to put the potato in first and let that cook a little bit. And then we're going to add the courgettes in. And I just think it looks nice, you know, when the vegetables are like the same size and same shape. Okay, so if everyone just checks on their rice now. So my rice, the water has evaporated. This is what it looks like now. You can see the water's evaporated, but it's still like, what's it called? It's still wet, basically. You can still like easily stir it around. So give it a stir and then put your heat all the way down and then pop the lid on and just let that cook. Now, let me just show you guys this ingredient. I'm not sure if everybody got this. It was an optional ingredient, but it is really nice, and you can get it from most Asian supermarkets. It's called panch prawn, and what it is there's nigella seeds, fennel seeds, cumin seeds, fenugreek seeds, and mustard seeds all in one mix. So yeah, I would really suggest or recommend getting one of these packets, and you can literally add it in like to so many different like recipes, and it really like sort of enhances a lot of the flavors. And you know, you could even just use this and it will still taste really nice. So what is the name? Okay, it's called panch prawn. So it's spelled PANC. Yeah, that's the one. How's it spelled on there? Is it PO?
So this is, so yeah, so I think because the way we say it is how it's kind of pronounced, isn't it, phonetically? So when you change it, so this is, I've seen it spelled PANCH, but this is actually spelt as punch.
Oh, okay, punch prawn, yeah.
Puran, POORAN. And it's really interesting. So this, if you can see the size of this bag, so it's probably the size of my face, is this whole bag was like really quite cheap. It was less, really like just over £1 from the Asian shops, but it's really interesting. So I do cook every now and then, but panch prawn wasn't something that I had in my spice mix. So I guess my question is this unique to Bangladesh?
Yeah, this is like a Bengali 5-spice mix almost, yeah.
Because panch means 5, doesn't it?
5, yeah, exactly. And prawn means like seeds. So yeah, very, very, very recommend getting some of this into your kitchen cupboards. I always use this in every curry that I make. So I've got my pan here. I've just heated it up on a medium gas. I'm just going to use some oil. So I'm just using vegetable oil. You can use pretty much whatever oil you like. Even sesame oil, you know, adds a nice bit of flavour. But with curries, because it's like a flavourless oil, we tend to use vegetable oil quite a lot. So we're going to add in, let's say, once the pan's heated, let's add in about 2 tablespoons of oil. First thing that we're going to add in is the garlic and ginger. Now just be careful that they don't burn. So after the garlic and ginger, we'll pretty much add the onions in not long after. So just got to wait for the oil to heat up. And we will add it in. So you can add a little piece in, and if it sizzles, that means it's ready. So mine's sizzling, so I'm just going to add mine in. It's my favourite noise as well when it first sizzles. That's why I cook, for that noise.
So is that the garlic and the ginger?
Yeah, this is the garlic and the ginger in here now. So give it a little mix. And you'll start to smell like the sort of garlic and gingery smell. So that's when you know it's time to add in the onions. So I'm going to add in my onions now. So pop that in there. Okie dokie. Give that a mix. Okay, if you're using the ginger garlic paste, I'd say just less than like half a tablespoon, I'd say. So
there's a question that sorry for him, if someone's using ginger paste, how much do they add?
Oh yeah, I just said it's about half a tablespoon that you can use, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, no, it's fine. So I'm going to add in my salt now. So let's say 1/4 of a tablespoon of salt. and then pop that in. I'm also going to add in my 5-seed mix. So I'm just going to add in a healthy pinch of that. In fact, a few pinches, I would say. I just put in 2 big pinches. If anybody has mustard seeds, you can use mustard seeds instead. Just add in 2 big pinches of those. But if not, don't worry. It's still going to taste good. We're going to add this in. So while the onions are just softening a bit more, because I've added my salt in, I'm just going to check on the rice. Okay, so if I just show you my rice quickly. So this is my rice. I'd say it's done. So I would just leave it on the heat and turn it off. So my rice just looks like that. So the rice is basically, it's at the right size. It's, you know, puffed up and it's fluffy now. So the rice is done. So back onto my bhaji. I'll just show you. So in here we've got garlic, ginger. We started off with some oil, then we put in the garlic, ginger, then we added in the onions and then some salt. About a 1/4 tablespoon of salt. And then I put in my 5-seed mix. So just let the onions sort of soften. Then we're going to add in the potatoes. Okay.
How's everyone getting on?
Everyone okay? Yeah.
Yeah, you okay? You okay, Ginia? You able to keep up? You look like you're smiling. A big thumbs up there, and Amanda's got a big thumbs up too. Excellent.
Okay, amazing. So what I'm going to do now is show you the spices that I'm going to pop in there. So these are teaspoons. So we're going to add in like half a heaped tablespoon. Sorry, not tablespoon, teaspoon, not tablespoon, guys. Of chili. So half a heaped tablespoon of chili, pop that in there. Half a heaped tablespoon of cumin powder, pop that in there. A little hint of garam masala if you have it, just a hint, like a little touch. And then half a teaspoon of coriander powder, sorry. And finally, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Pop that in there. And then you give it a mix.
You go back over the spice mix again.
Yeah, so we've got chili powder, half a teaspoon. Then we've got half a teaspoon of cumin powder. And we've got a little bit of garam masala. Again, if you don't have it, it's fine. It's not a necessary component. Half a teaspoon of coriander powder. And then half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. So that's all there. That's there, sort of mixing together. The spices have cooked off a little bit, so I'm going to add in my potatoes now. Okay, and then give it a mix. So we'll leave the potatoes to cook for, let's say, about 5 minutes, and then we'll add in our courgette. There's the courgette gone in there already. Okie dokie. So give that a good mix. Make sure all the potatoes coated in the spices. Okay.
If it's a bit dry, would you add in a little water just to make sure it's
Yeah.
not sticking?
I was literally about to say, yeah, just add in a little water. That's what I'm going to do as well. Preferably warm water if you can. Where's it going? Is it?
No. Yep.
Just a little bit of water in there. And then give it a mix. So I'm just going to pop my lid half on. So all we need to add into here now is the courgette. So what I'm going to do is, in the meantime, just going to chop a little bit of coriander to add in at the end. Just a little bit. So
have you put a lid on it as well now? Is that to help?
yeah. So I've just half covered it with a lid, not fully covered, just to help it cook. Basically, yeah. Just to help it cook a bit quicker. So we're just going to leave the potatoes on for like 5 minutes or so. So I'm just going to chop up my coriander ready for that. Okay. How's everyone doing so far? Is everyone okay?
How's everyone doing?
I can see people chopping away, yeah. Good. I can see nice thumbs up. Okay, amazing.
Bit hungry, that's all.
Don't worry, soon we're gonna be eating a good 3 course.
So there's a question about cooking for 4, about doubling the recipe. So you know, in terms of the quantities that we're using today, would you say that the quantities are for 2, or 2 meals for 1 person, or 1 meal for 2 people, maybe?
Yeah, I would say that amount. Yeah, you could do 3 at a push. I feel like, but yeah, two like good portions for people, 2 different people. Give that a little mix.
We've only been cooking for over an hour, and we've already done so much already.
I know, this is the beauty of South Asian cooking, because I think a lot of people think it's quite complicated, but it's not really. You just got to have the right ingredients in your cupboard, and that's it, really. You know.
People just need a bit of confidence as well, I think. Just
yeah.
confidence to experiment and try new things.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like once you know your spices and you know the quantity that you like and the amount that you like, you can add it to basically any dish that you like, really. So yeah.
I mean, would you say that with Bangladeshi cooking, a lot of the things that you cook are dependent on what's in season?
Yeah, definitely, because I feel like not only is it cheaper in the supermarkets, it also tastes good as well. So yeah, hopefully, like I'm planning to do a supper club either at the end of this month or the start of September. So I'm definitely going to be using like in season fruit and vegetables, and even like sort of in Bangladesh, because of the climate, because you've got, you know, the fact that it's hot but it also rains a lot. You know, a lot of fruit and vegetables can grow there, and we have a big wide selection of pumpkins that we like to add into our curries. Like that's another like really big part of Bangladeshi cooking, is having these particular pumpkins in with our chicken or fish in the curries. Yeah.
So Dominic's lucky enough to grow up in Bradford and train in East London. So yes, I get this spoiled for food choice there.
Yeah.
Missing ingredients from Whitechapel though. Yes, I think that's quite true, that when you live in diverse areas, the local supermarkets have got an abundance of kind of new things to try, which might be difficult potentially to source outside.
Definitely, yeah. Especially with like fruit, I find like We have a lot of jackfruit in our Bangladeshi supermarkets around this time of the year. They even had rambutan, you know, come into the supermarkets, but you know, it's rare to find these things in like Tesco or Sainsbury's and stuff. So definitely. Okay, so my potatoes. Now I'll leave them a little bit longer. The courgettes don't actually take that long to make, to cook even. So what we'll be making next is our fish curry. So really excited for everybody to try that. And you'll find that it's so simple and hardly any ingredients, but it tastes really nice still. So yeah, just give it a few more minutes for the potatoes, and then we'll add the courgettes in, give it a stir, and leave that to cook itself as well.
So I imagine the potatoes are softening now.
Yeah, so they don't need to be completely soft, but they just need to have a little bit of a give, basically, when you push into them, press into them.
So I've got some lovely smells in my kitchen. I hope you guys have as well.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Is somebody cooking for you, Aaliya? Because you're not moving off the screen.
Yes, I have a few sous chefs in the kitchen,
Yeah.
shall we say? Because yes, I'm very kindly joined by people who are off camera.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. See, we know how things work, but yeah. So hopefully we'll both get to taste the food
Yes.
without putting in the effort.
They say behind every successful person, there's somebody else standing with them, don't they? So.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm just going to add in my courgettes into the potatoes now, guys, and then just give it a mix.
So one of the things I like about these kind of recipes is that it does dispel the myth that Asian cooking can be unhealthy.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes when people think about Asian food, they think that it's, you know, kind of high fat or what have you. But you're certainly showing today that we've chosen some things that are quite healthy and you know, can be kind of really, really good for all kinds of diets as well.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like the only times that I guess, you know, it might be unhealthy is just the oil, but I think that can easily be substituted for something healthier as well. So yeah, I think the nice thing with like Asian, South Asian cooking is that we'll always like cook things from scratch, and we'll always use like, you know, fresh vegetables and fruit and things like that. So yeah. So I'm just giving this a mix, guys, and then
There's a question about whether or not Bangladeshi cooking uses ghee. That's quite common in so I'm Indian heritage. So
Yeah.
ghee is quite common in India. Is it common in Bangladesh?
I wouldn't say it's that common, no. Like my mum didn't really like, you know, sort of when she was cooking for us, she didn't really use ghee that much. It was only in certain recipes like kurma, for example, she'd have to use ghee, but other than that, not really. I think it's because when it comes to ghee, you usually make it with like in biryani and pilau rice, and because we don't have that every day, we didn't eat it that much. Yeah.
There's another question about this dish and whether it's supposed to be quite dry.
Yeah, it's supposed to be dry. This dish in particular, it's not a curry, it's a bazi, which basically means like stir-fried, sautéed kind of dish. So yeah, this is a dry dish.
So I guess it's going to be combined with the fish curry, which is kind of saucy, shall we say?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got the chutney as well, which again is going to give a bit of kind of moisture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly
So
that.
Emma's making a comment that it's smelling amazing.
Oh, okay, that's good. Good.
So that's what I was kind of, yeah, can feel the smells coming through as well.
Yeah. This is just, I've just mixed in the courgette with the potatoes. I'm just going to leave it to cook now. With the lid half on, half off. So not completely on, just like a little bit of air still getting in there as well. Okay, so while that's cooking, guys, we're going to get on to our fish curry. So I just pop that there. Now the tomatoes, we've got 1 whole tomatoes. We're going to cut them into quarters, and that's how we're going to leave them. In fact, let's get our garlic ready. So just chop off the top and the end. So with the garlic, I'm just going to do very thin slices. I'm not going to chop it up, just because this is how my mum does it, and I'm just going to carry on what she does, basically. So yeah, just some thin slices. Quite a nice garlicky dish, this one. There's no ginger in this and no onion, which is very rare for a curry. But yeah, it's because of the type of dish, the tenga, you know, it's not cooked with onions. That's just the way it is. But okey-dokey. And then I'm going to get my tomato. I'm going to cut the tomato in half and then cut it in half again. So we've just got quarters. I'm just going to get rid of the stalk a little bit as well. Is that all right with everybody? Is everyone cutting their tomatoes with me?
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Okay, so you can get loads of different like styles of tengas. Like this is a tomato based one. You can get another one.
Sorry, Fahima. There's a question about for canned tomatoes.
No, this one again. I promise I don't have anything against canned tomatoes. Like they're great for curries, but because this is like a tomato tenga, we want it to be the fresh whole tomatoes, please. But if this was like a chicken curry, like a chicken buna or something, you know, you could easily use tinned tomatoes. But I think because tenga generally it's quite fresh, like it's not cooked for that long generally. Like we just want all the flavors to be fresh as possible, basically. Okay. So here's my tomatoes. Oh, you're out of fresh tomatoes. Okay, that's fine. Don't worry. Have you got anything like rhubarb in your garden by any chance? If not, it's fine.
No,
I
I've
still
got that much.
recommend you.
That's about as much fresh tomato as I've left. And that's my organic canned tomatoes.
Okay, that's fine. You can use the a little bit of the organic canned tomatoes, and I'll let you off. You can use a little bit, but just I would add in the canned tomatoes before the fresh tomatoes, and just let that cook for a little bit longer, just so you don't get too much of that, you know, acidity taste kind of thing.
So thanks for letting him off. I'm sure we won't tell your mum. She doesn't get offended at someone changing her recipe. Would you mind showing us the Bazi dish just to check how it's shaping up?
Yeah, of course. So let's give it a mix first. So
Oh, yeah, camera down. Okay.
Oh, it's much more
So-
solid than that.
Okay.
So, Emma's added a bit more water because she felt that her potatoes were quite firm.
yeah,
So I guess if you put a lid on it, would it kind of steam a little bit almost?
yeah. I'm just going to show you how big the fish chunks need to be, because if you do them too small, they'll break up. So I've got a bassa fillet here. Just bought them from the frozen section. So okay, so about this big, guys. So about 2.5 inches. 2 inches wide and 2.5 inches sort of lengthways. But yeah, as long as they're all similar size as well, and they're all quite not too small.
So I must admit that when I first saw the ingredient list, I was thinking, where am I going to get basa from? And I was really kind of pleasantly surprised, Fahima, when you told me that very budget supermarkets do them frozen. And again, it was actually really, really cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's interesting because it's actually far more available than I thought. So would you describe basa as quite a firm fish rather than one that flakes?
I'd say it's like an in-between too, to be honest. Like it doesn't flake that easily, but at the same time, it's not that firm. So that's why it's kind of perfect for this kind of dish. But yeah, like even the taste of it, it's quite light, you know, the taste of it when you cook it, it's quite light.
So it takes on the flavors of what you're putting it with.
Yeah, exactly that, yeah.
So Blair's saying that he uses frozen basa all the time. So clearly he cooks far more than me, but
yeah, I'm so happy that it's in Aldi now, because we've been cooking basa for a long time, like as a family, and then we were like, oh my gosh, it's in Aldi now, we don't have to go like all the way into Birmingham to like buy some. So yeah.
So in terms of sorry, Susan's asking if the green stuff on your chopping board is green coriander.
That is coriander. So this is just some coriander that I'm going to chop up and add it into the curry just before I turn the curry off. The bazi. And then this coriander, the rest of it, not all of it, I don't think I'm going to use all of it, but another handful we're going to use for the tenga. So I'm just going to give the bazi another mix. Now the potatoes are quite soft now, so I'm just going to leave it to cook a bit longer. So I'm going to add in my coriander now. Chopped a bit of coriander. Is everybody ready to do the last bit of the bazi? So the coriander, the bit of garlic, and the lemon juice. Give it a stir and then turn it off, yeah? Okie dokie. So, coriander. Lemon juice.
So how much lemon are we using?
So I'm just using like one thick segment, basically, yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Again, it's that combination, isn't it, of
Yeah.
and things.
Yeah, exactly. We love to add a bit of sourness all the time. Okay. So this is my finished bazi, if I just show you. Okay guys, so now it's time to make our tenga. So just to go through the ingredients that we have here. So I've got my fish chunks that I've just cut up. I've got my tomatoes here. And I've got my garlic. And that's literally all you need. And of course the spices, which I will show you which ones to add in. So, okay, so pop our pan on heat. So I'm using a deep pan this time, like a medium-sized one.
Oh, we've got a larger, kind of shallower one. Does it make a difference?
That's fine, as long as the water can cover the fish, almost cover the fish, it should be fine.
That'll be fine.
Okay. So pop that on heat. I'm just going to get rid of some of this rubbish at the same time. So the first thing that we're going to do is the oil. Excuse me. We're going to do the oil. Then we're going to put in the garlic. And then we're going to put in the tomatoes, followed by the salt and the spices, and then the fish, a little bit of water, and then that's it. So, okay. Okay, so the pan is nice and heated now. I'm going to add in my oil. So I'd say,
Sorry, what type of oil are we using?
so using vegetable oil, about this much. I'd say that's probably about 3 tablespoons. Make sure the oil is heated up. And then we're going to add in our garlic. This is our last dish, guys. Can you believe it? We've made a feast. I'm excited to eat it all. Okay. So we're going to add in the garlic now. I'd say it's heated up. So let's add in all our garlic that we had specifically for the tenga, which was 3.5 cloves. So pop that in, give it a mix. Now just have your lid to hand, because when we put the tomatoes in, they might spit a little bit because they're watery. But yeah, if that does happen, just pop the lid on.
Is it possible to see how the garlic looks inside your pan? Yeah.
Yes, here you go. It's a bit sizzly at the moment.
Quite
So
sizzly, yeah.
yeah. So we're just gonna wait for like that nice garlic smell to come out. I'm gonna add in the tomatoes. So just keep mixing it around. Okay, so the garlic I can smell, and I can see it's going a little bit brown. So I'm gonna pop in my tomatoes now, guys. Ready? Just be careful. A little bit. Just turn it down if you think it's too mix. Okay.
Tomatoes are sizzling quite a lot when they go in.
Yeah, they do. They'll go down. They won't sizzle as much, but just stir it a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's because of the water content, isn't it? When anything
Yeah,
with water
that is
content,
exactly it.
not oil.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone can hear it in the background. It's very sizzly.
Yeah. So this is the amount of salt that I'm going to put in. So it's just over a tablespoon. Sorry, half a tablespoon. So about 3/4 of a tablespoon of salt, like so. Like it's not heaped, but it covers 3/4 of the spoon. So pop
That
that
has
in.
helped to soften the tomatoes.
Yeah, that's going to soften the tomatoes. Okay. Give that a mix. Okay, just make sure it's on a medium heat. Okay, now we're going to add in the spices. This is a very quick dish that we make. So we're not adding chili, no chili in this. It's just cumin, coriander, and turmeric. So half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of coriander, and half a teaspoon of turmeric. We'll add that in. Add that in. Add that in. And then just give it a mix. Okay.
So I guess fish cooks quite quickly as well.
Quickly.
So the whole recipe is quite quick.
Yeah, it's about 10 minutes, the whole recipe, more or less. So I'm going to put my fish in now, guys. So just place your fish inside. Give it a light mix. And then we'll add in water, just enough to cover the fish. So this is the fish and the tomatoes in the pan at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in water, enough to just cover the fish.
And again, it's better if it's warm or boiling.
Yeah, yes, please, warm, fine, yeah. So pop that in there until it just covers like so. So I just show you. So this is how much water is in here now. So it's just covering the fish. And we're going to bring that to a boil. And once it comes to a boil, we'll put it down and let it simmer for about 10 minutes. Okay, so leave that to boil. Okay, if you think that it seems quite a lot of salt for you, because the reason why is because we add quite a lot of water into it. That's why it seems quite a lot. But if you want to add less in and keep adding more, that's fine. That's totally up to you. It was about just less than a tablespoon, but it wasn't heaped. So it was about that much. It was.
Yeah, we put in about half, but I think that
Yeah.
kind of gets absorbed in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's always best to add less and then more if you want at the end, maybe.
Yeah, because you can never take it away, basically. I'm just going to chop up my coriander in the meantime. So just roughly chop it because we're going to add it in right at the end. Just make sure that your pan is on a medium heat, which mine is. So I'm just going to, just like a handful or so, just roughly chop it. And then just have the lemon ready, because that's what we're going to add in.
So it's bubbling away, it's simmering away at the moment, yeah?
Yeah, so we're just waiting for it to come to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, that's when we'll turn it down and then leave that for a few minutes. And then right at the end, we'll pop in our coriander and our lemon, stir it, and then that's it, finished.
Okay, so and you don't need to cover it with a lid?
No, not at this point, no.
Okay, great, thanks.
No problem. I think everyone's cooking away at the moment,
Yeah.
so we'll let them carry on.
So Susan's saying that getting fresh coriander is a challenge. Would parsley or spicy rocket do? So I'm interested to know where you are, Susan. So I'll let Fahima answer about alternatives for coriander.
To be fair, parsley, we don't usually use that much parsley in our cooking. I'm trying to think what else there is really. Coriander powder, yeah, like dried coriander, I would say is probably the best alternative. Like with fresh coriander, it's always just like a garnish. Like it's not really necessary for you to add it to your curries at the end. But yeah, I would say probably stay away from parsley just because it's a different flavour. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for joining us from Shetland, by the way, Susan. It's nice to know that we've reached people in all corners. And it's interesting that it's not in the supermarkets, because I guess it's quite abundant in a lot of supermarkets these days, but that's interesting to know. Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, Mohammed's asked a question about coconut milk.
Yeah, so you could add coconut milk to this kind of curry. That would mean you know, it would be a bit more like a Kerala fish type of curry. It wouldn't necessarily be tenga then if you did add coconut milk, because coconut milk would kind of take away from the sourness. But yeah, coconut milk generally as a, you know, putting that into a fish curry, that would be really nice. I'm just going to show you guys what I'm going to take it out of here. Ooh.
So Dominic's showing his whole coriander seeds. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Sorry, Fahima. Do you think that the coriander seeds or dried coconut are a good substitute for fresh green coriander?
I'd say yeah, they're probably like the best alternatives. But at the end of the day, with fresh coriander, just like, you know, because it's like it adds color to the dish, it adds, you know, like, you know, a bit of presentation, the garnish and everything like that. But flavor wise, yeah, it's fine just to use coriander seeds or, you know, dried coriander powder.
So you're going to show us what yours is looking like?
Yeah, I will show you. This is what it looks like at the moment. So this dish in particular is quite like it's not a very thick sauce. It's quite a thin sauce, and that's what tenga is. But because we have it with the rice, the rice will soak up a lot of that juice essentially. So yeah.
And I think one thing I kind of would say about tenga is that it's one of those kind of staple things. It's not one of those, it's like an everyday dish as opposed to one of those fancy dishes or something that's, you know, in restaurants. I think it's more around what people eat at home.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely not on restaurant menus. And I guess it's probably because maybe people, you know, I wouldn't say it's an acquired taste, but it's definitely something very different. So maybe like putting it in the restaurants at this point of time, like people would be a little bit scared, but it's definitely a home cooked dish.
More question about cooking with fish. I hope that's okay. You were talking about stirring, and I'm always a bit nervous about stirring
fish
curries with fish. Yeah, because I don't want it to break up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just me.
No, I totally get it. Like mum used to shout at me for like, if I ever used to take fish out of the pan, she'd be like, do it properly, otherwise the fish is going to break. I think the key is to go underneath and get it from that way, rather than like, you know, like, because there can be like things that are on the top, rather than like go for those pieces, to go underneath, and then hopefully that way it doesn't break.
Yeah, I'm just trying it as well, by the way. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Look,
It'll taste even better once we've added in, you know, the coriander and the lemon in as well. So mine's sort of boiled, so I'm just going to put it down a little bit for it to simmer.
Susan's saying that fish and rice is a staple. We eat it every couple of days, so this is great.
Oh, lovely.
Thanks for that, Susan. I think it's always nice to have kind of quick, low-fat, healthy recipes.
Yeah, and definitely this is so like easy. There's no onion, there's hardly any prep. You just have to chop the fish really, and the garlic and the coriander. So you can make this very quickly in the evenings. I would say that with this tenga, we usually eat it on its own. So we'd have the basi first with the rice, have a little bit, and then you'd put tenga on your plate with a little bit more rice. Because usually, because tenga is quite like a delicate kind of, you know, dish. There's not too much in it. You don't want to like overpower it with other things. So, but if you were to have basi with like another curry, like, you know, like another chicken curry or dal, that would be nice together. Yeah.
Would you? So you can have it with rice or on its own. Would you say it's kind of more like a soupy type way that you'd eat it? Maybe?
No, I mean, sorry, I wouldn't have it with another curry on the side on the same plate. It would be like, I'm having that curry first, finish that plate, then we go on and have the tenga. It's almost like a dessert kind of curry. Like you'd always have that curry last as well. Like that's like the etiquette around it. So yeah.
Brilliant. And as we said, fish cooks very quickly, and yeah, it's coming along.
So yeah, so we're done with our curry now, guys, the fish tenga. So if we just want to pop in the lemon first, so if you just want to squeeze in the lemon, So again, I'm just going to be using like a quarter of like, there's loads of slices here, but I'm using a quarter of a lemon. Make sure none of the seeds get in there, because if the seeds from the lemon get in there, it will make it taste bitter.
Yeah, I think we're just squeezing it into a bowl first rather than directly into the curry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just so that we can kind of use a spoon to get rid of the seeds. I don't think we're as good at squeezing lemons as you are.
These have already been sliced and all the seeds are gone, so luckily I've got a little hack. But yeah, no, just make sure there's no seeds and you're all good. And then I'm just going to pop my coriander in there, turn it off, just give it one last mix.
So it's quite liquid. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah.
wet.
It's supposed to be very, yeah, like watery almost. That is the style of the dish. I'm just gonna show you a bit closer. Everyone can see that.
I think Amanda's wondering when we're ready to serve.
Yes.
I must say that in terms of the timing, I think the timing's been managed excellently. We've done an awful lot, and yeah, the timing's done really well. So thanks for that, Fahima.
No problem at all. We can get our food onto the plate. So I'm just going to get the rice on. So Bali and my chutney. So if I just show you, so the tenga, make sure you eat it last, guys. I'll just pop that into there.
So how's everyone doing? Is everyone getting ready to plate up? Oh wow! I'm just taking a look at Emma's. I've switched mine back to gallery view now. So Emma's looking like she's done really well. I'm sure you all have. It would be lovely to see everyone
look
together. Oh.
Ooh, yeah, this looks great. I really can't wait for you guys to eat it. This is my plate, guys. Just move these a little bit. And then the tenga will go on after.
Brilliant. So thank you so much again for joining us, and thank you so much for sharing in the delights of South Asia and South Asian Heritage Month. And thank you again to Fahima for sharing your expertise. Fahima is also on Instagram at Mosa Mosa, and Evie has just popped in the social media details into the chat box. So brilliant. I think we've all got a nice little feast for the evening, and I'm going to say cheers. And thank you all for joining. Please do share your pics with us. We'd be like, yes, we're going to do. Can we get a photo for social media? Oh, Rizwan, you didn't come over and say hello. Should we all just? I'm just going to hold my thing up. Yeah, I'm going to count to 3, and then we'll take it. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you. Brilliant. Lovely to join with you all, and I hope you all have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. I really hope you enjoy it. Bye.
Bye-bye.